I'll move on. All right. So for this particular question, guys, if you notice option C, right? If you add 8 to this, right? Then of course the next time you won't be able to add 8, right? So what we do is we do 2 8 8, right? So the shell gets filled with 2 electrons, L shell, the second shell gets filled with 8 electron, then the third shell again gets filled with 8 electron, then 18, then 18, then 32, then 32, right? It gets filled like this, right? So first this will be 2 and then 6, right? So this is basically, this is what, this is oxygen, right? 2 and 6, right? And after that the next one will be 16. That's true, because we added 8. Now we'll have to add, this time what we'll have to do is we'll have to add, because till 10 then 18, right? Then 18, next we'll have to add 30 18, right? So this time the jump has to be 18, so it has to go till 34. So option C is definitely wrong. So I mean, in this case they're asking which do not belong to the same group, it will be option C. If you see for option A, this is after 2, right, till 10 it will be over here, right? Then after that, I mean, there will be a 8 jump, right? And then after that there will be again an 8 jump, so 3 11 19, and then you will add an 18, so it will give you 37. So this is, I mean, this is not the correct answer definitely, right? And so aren't B and D, so which do not belong to the same group, it will be option C. Option C is the right answer. I hope you've understood this, guys. All right, I'll move on. In the long form of the periodic table, guys, so this is again very simple question. So what you have to do over here is, this is 5s2 5p4, so definitely the fifth period. A and D are eliminated, right? Now once you have 5s2 going into this group, right, 5s2 and then 5p4, right? So 5s2 means that it will be the first S, then the second S group, right? And then if you're talking about the period, guys, so the, I mean, the group you're talking about, right? So if you notice, groups 13 14 15 16 17 and 18 are the P block, right? And in the P block 4 electrons are filled, so this will be first, second, third, fourth, right? So we'll get 16 as our group. So group 16 and period 5, option C will be the right answer, guys. All right, I'll move on. Next is effective nuclear charge, guys. So effective nuclear charge, basically the concept says that although the nuclear will have a certain charge, right? I mean, the nuclear will have certain charge, right? Outer electrons are attracted towards the nucleus by a nuclear charge, right? But this nuclear charge will get reduced because of the repulsion of inner electrons. So the outer electrons, right, as you go further and further away, I mean the first shell, if you're talking about, won't experience any change in nuclear charge. I mean, there will be no electrons shielding it, basically, right? There will be no electrons shielding the outer electrons. But if you're talking about these outer electrons, I mean, if you go beyond the first shell, right, then these inner shell electrons, right, all the inner shell electrons will be shielding these outer shell electrons, right? In fact, because of the inner shell electrons, they will also face a repulsion, right? So they will move further away from the nucleus, so nucleus won't attract them as much as they do the inner electrons, right? So hence the effective nuclear charge that these outer electrons will experience will be lesser than the inner electrons, guys, right? So if this is the nucleus and this is the first subshell, second subshell, third subshell, right? So this first shell will experience the entire nuclear charge. This will experience something less, right? This will experience further less, the electrons over here, and as we go further it will experience lesser effective nuclear charge, right? So this is the concept of effective nuclear charge, right? So screening effect is basically the decrease in the force of attraction exerted by the nucleus. So basically the effective nuclear charge becomes lesser and lesser as we move further away from the nucleus. As the shell number increases, the attraction force from the nucleus is reduced, right, due to the inner electrons, right? So for example, if you are sitting in a concert, right, if you, let's say, attend a AR Rahman concert and you are sitting over there, right, the first rows will hear clearer voices, right? But as you go back into the rows, right, the voices become that much less, right, intensified. if he's singing from the front, right, and there is no proper music system, then of course, right, the people sitting in the back, the voice they would hear, right, would not be as clear as the voice that people hear in the front, right. So I hope you understood, right. So Z effective, right, the effective nuclear charge, right, Z effective, the effective nuclear charge is Z, which is the atomic number minus the screening constant sigma. So where sigma is the screening constant, guys, right. Further, guys, variation of effective charge. So for example, guys, if you're talking about effective nuclear charge on the outermost electrons, guys, then the atomic number of lithium is Z, right, but the Z effective that they will encounter, right, or they'll face is only 1.28. I'm talking about the outermost electrons. In case of beryllium, the atomic number is 4, right, so they should ideally experience a charge of 4, right, effective nuclear charge of 4, because there are 4 protons, but they experience only 1.91. For boron it's 5, right, they experience 2.42, right, and so forth, right. So this is basically period 2, right, this is period 2, right, and as you can see, as you move across a period, right, Z effective increases, right. Try to think why it increases, and I'll answer that in the next class, right. It has something to do with addition of more electrons, addition of more protons, but the shells don't get increased, right. So I hope you understood the logic over here, and you can identify the reason over here. So across a period, in general, right, in general, there will be exceptions, right, as I've told you. In general, Z effective increases, right. Please take a screenshot of this, right, and read these Slater rules, right, Slater's rules. Read these Slater's rules, guys, right. Read all the 5 rules, you will be able to understand them, although we'll be covering them in the next class as well, right. So in this class we've talked about periodic properties much more in detail. Right now we've talked about the SPDF blocks, right, we've talked about Z effective, we've talked about screening effect, at least introduced to them, few to them, right, and we've talked about locating elements in a period, right. We've talked about atomic number 45, for example, atomic number 73. So you should be able to do all that stuff, right. So I mean, the more you practice, the more you'll get attuned to that, right. Look at the periodic table as much as possible, have it in your room, taped to your wall, right. It will help you a lot, and you'll be able to understand the periodic table. There are certain elements that you can remember very well. For example, if you know, just form your own methodologies of remembering them. Up till 30 you definitely have to remember, perhaps up to 36, right. 36 till which is krypton, you should remember everything, right. After that you can remember certain things, right. For example, below copper come silver and gold, right. So those coinage metals come one below the other, right. Copper, silver, gold, right. Then about tungsten, which comes in the same group as chromium does, right. So tungsten is again very important. Molybdenum is just before that, so again that is important. Then below zinc, whatever comes, that is very important, right. All the noble gases, it should be at your fingertips, right. So very easy. Helium, right, helium is 1s2, right. The 2p orbital does not get start getting filled yet, but still it's kept in the p block, right, at the rightmost corner, right. So p block elements, so neon, then I mean the second period, and group 18, which is the noble gas, right. Helium, neon, then it would be argon, krypton, xenon, radon, right. So you should remember all of that, right. What are the elements below zinc? You can remember it. It can be a good starting point for locating the elements, right. And then the period, right, the period, you know, when the period is the outermost shell that get filled, right. For example, if the 5th shell is getting filled at the last, that will be your period number. And the group number would be, you know, if they are lying in the p block element, if the p block elements are getting filled at the last, I mean if the p subshell is getting filled at the last, they will be lying in the p block part, which is group 13 to 18, right. So once you know, for example, if there are 3 p subshells that are getting filled in the p 3 electrons finally that go into the final subshell, right, which is the P subshell, for example, right, then you'll say that 1 2 3, okay, so 13 14 15, it will be the 15th group, right. Similarly, group 3 to 12 is the D block, right, and similarly you can figure out for the F block as well, right. So F block are the lanthanide and the actinide series. Lanthanide and lanthanum and actinum don't actually come in the lanthanide and the actinide series, right. The D orbital gets filled first, right, but they'll definitely come in the F block, right. Both lanthanum and actinium will come in the F block. 58 to 71 is the lanthanide series, right. I hope you remember that, guys. So 14 electron gets filled in the F block, right. So 58 to 71 is 14 elements basically, right. So from cerium till lutetium, right, and till lawrencium in case of actinide series also, guys, right. So I hope you remember all these facts, right, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Where we'll be delving further into periodic properties. We'll be talking about atomic radius, ionic radius, covalent radius, right, van der Waals radius, and all of that stuff. How atomic radius varies across a group, across a period, right. We'll be delving further into the properties, right. We'll be talking about bond length, bond strength, and everything, right. So please stay tuned for that, and I'll see you the next time around. Thank you.